morning, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of the First Family of Las Vegas's daily free winner show, brought to you by the best website on the planet, your one-stop sports betting shop, Sports Memo. We've got an awesome Thursday panel today. Let's bring them all on. Let's run around the clock. My good buddy Dan Kaiser, Jeff Michaels from our brother website, Jimmy Adams, a Thursday fixture around here. And guys, just to let you know, don't fear, no fret. Our good buddy Nick Parsons will be chiming in about 5 or 10 minutes. So let me start with Dan Kaiser. Dan, good morning. How are you today?
Doing good. Went to that Western Michigan game last night, so
nice.
I'm fresh and ready to go today.
Good stuff. This is that time of year, no matter where you live in the no matter where you live, period, but no matter where you live in the country, somewhere around you, there's a sporting event going on because there's so many sports going on. I'm glad to see you're already attending and having some fun, Dan. Good morning, Jeff Michaels. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I can't complain. Love watching some weekday action, and a little jealous you're at the game there, Dan. But hey, I'll catch a MAC game soon enough around here. But looking forward to today as always.
Speaking of nice areas, Jeff, you're in an area, you're in Ohio. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a good sporting event any night of the week. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, I was just talking to Adam Trigger, said that he was, making his way around the college basketball stadiums, and he may make his way up to Cleveland. We can hit 3 stadiums in 3 days easy for college basketball.
Interesting stuff. Now, I did hear, though, Cleveland is a lot like going from, New York to New Jersey. It's free, though, but when you leave, they charge you. Is that correct?
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Being a New Yorker, we used to mess with everybody from Jersey because you go through the Holland Tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel. It's free to go there, but then they charge you to get back to Manhattan. Speaking of traveling, my good friend Jimmy Adams is here. We're happy that he is here on Thursday. Jimmy, how are you today, buddy?
Doing pretty good, Joe. It was all basketball for me yesterday. Pretty easy winner with the Nets, and then got fortunate. We got there with Davidson in double overtime, so it was lucky. But we'll take that. It was a hook win for me and the clients, so I'll take it. Right.
Especially at the start of the season, Jimmy, when you start getting at the start of a campaign, a hook win or a double overtime win. It sets the tone, and it really does, and it makes me feel good. I'm happy for you and your clients, and I know you got a lot of people that following you over there. I got to tell you real quick before we get into everything. Jeff gave out a free play yesterday on was it this show or the other? Was this show? You were on this show yesterday too, Jeff?
No, 2 days ago.
2 days ago, and we both had a game, and then yesterday I put out a play, and I can't. Oh, it was Jeff. Jeff, it was you put out a play for last night 2 days ago, right?
No.
No, I did. No, I did the MAC game, the Tuesday night MAC game, I believe.
Tuesday night. Well, I got to tell you about the MAC. I crushed it 2 nights ago. Last night, man, I was sitting pretty with the Phoenix Suns all night. I never had to worry about that one. And I had the Buffalo Bulls last night, 24-7.
You and Tony Mejia had that one.
And I got it to Tony
So
Mejia.
did I.
That's because Tony and Jeff have a lot of like. But I got to tell you, I never seen such poor tackling. And I actually said, I can't believe that. And I don't watch a lot of games. I was sleeping and I woke up. I put one eye open, let the dogs out. They had to go back out. And then as soon as I said, Dan, you got to see the crappy tackling. The announcer said, I've never seen such crappy. It's just like I said. I was like, what now? So having said all that, all right, I finally got a loss in football. I haven't had too many of those. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
I almost kissed you. Good morning. Happy Thursday. You know how I start every show. Guys, a couple of things that I want to get right into today's free winners. Very shortly, Nick Parsons will be joining us. My friends, I got my Marine Corps hoodie on. I'm a proud dad of the United States Marine. Today is the celebrated birthday of the United States Marine Corps, November 10th, 1775. So to all those Marines out there, I get a little choked up, that served this country courageously and unselfishly so the rest of us can walk and speak freely. We owe you a debt we can never repay. God bless you and God bless America and Marines Semper Fi. We really do owe you a debt we can never repay. There's a lot of people out there. This is not a political show, but there's a lot of people in this country that are dead set against our armed forces, but seem to take advantage of all the freedoms they offer us. So all I'm saying, Marines, we owe you a debt, as well as all our armed service members. Thank you and God bless you. And may you be safe and get home safely to all those that are in other places like our son. Having said that, our good buddy Adam Trigger, Jeff mentioned him earlier. We're going to be seeing him this Sunday.
We will.
We're going to be at the Raiders-Colts game. And to be honest with you, somebody mentioned to me, Joe, you're Raiders. I'm a guy. I live here. I always support my local teams. But I got to tell you something. Just I didn't even look at the game. But just from what happened the last few weeks, the Colts getting a new coach that people like and things are happening. They got a couple of new players back and what's going on. I would automatically look to fade the Raiders and go with the Colts. And I haven't even looked at the game yet. Just from a sports betting point of view and a handicapping point of view, things like that tend to happen. I got to tell you, man, every day living locally here, and I write for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, but I get it. They always got to say something good about the Raiders. Guys, this is not a great team with a horrible coach. That's all I'm saying. All right, so I guess it wasn't all Gruden's fault, was it? So,
No.
having said that, we look forward to seeing Adam Trigger on Sunday. And then Tuesday night, we're going to be over at the UNLV Rebels game.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam said something. Jimmy, you're very close to him because you guys are both on WagerTalk. He said something like he's going to paint himself all red and run across the floor wearing nothing but a Speedo. Now, that's Adam Trigger's words. I don't know how true it is, if he's crazy, but I know Dan Kaiser does that occasionally at the Michigan State games.
I think we've seen Dan on TV yesterday.
I
just
saw
like that.
Dan ran across the field. You know, it always amazes me every time somebody runs across the field and then they go to sue a player or the security as soon as they get leveled by, like, 2 weeks ago, Jeff, we talked about that guy during the pro game that ran across the field. He got flattened by one of the defensive players.
Yeah,
and then he was
Bobby Wagner.
Man, let me tell you, man.
He's the idiot who ran across the field. I mean, what the hell did he expect?
I grew up in Little Italy, and trust me, we did a lot of bad things growing up, and nobody got a smack in the face or a kick in the butt for no reason. Having said all that, we're going to go right into some free play winners for today.
I also have
Guys,
some amazing discounts.
Oh, Dion's got discounts. See, I'm getting ahead of myself.
I know.
Dion's got discounts, guys. Dion, take it away.
Yeah, so those $2 Tuesday plays over at Sports Memo are still available.
Dino.
We have Ross
Come here.
Benjamin and Tim Michael both have their plays still available for
Come
$2 a piece. So make sure you head on over to the site and get those.
Sorry,
We also
guys.
do have a couple of other discounts that are going on right now. You can get a 30-day football, college football, or NFL package for only $99. All you have to do is use code FBALL99, and that is available at both sites. The other one that we do have going on right now, you can get a 7-day of college basketball, only $49, both over at Sports Memo and WagerTalk. 7 days, $49. And also the number one NBA handicapper over at Sports Memo in winning percentage and profit. You can get Joe D'Amico 7 days of NBA for just $49. All you have to do is use code COURT7 upon checkout.
Sports fans, and before we give out a ton of free winners for today's card, we are live. So the floor is open. Comment, questions for our panel, fire away. We're going to try to get to them during the show. Also, please like, comment, and repost the show on all medias. Our numbers are going up and up and up. But we need your help to hit our goal of 10,000 subscribers. So subscribe, like, comment, and please repost. We would appreciate that, sports fans. Without any further ado, guys, let's go right into some free plays. I get to share a lot of panels on Sports Memo TV with my good buddy, Jeff Michaels. And he is killing it. And he's doing some great work. He and his dad, Ralph Michaels, over at WagerTalk, kind of orchestrated this whole thing about the college. Jeff is going to tell you about a college basketball. They broke down, I think, every conference and just about every team and whatnot. He's going to tell you a little bit about that. But he does great work over at Sports Memo. And, when Jeff first started, we first started doing shows, a lot of people knew him as Ralph Michaels' son. And since then, and I want to say I'm very proud of you, Jeff. I really am. And since then, he has taken on his own identity as Jeff Michaels, JM Sports, and deservedly so. He's doing great work in multiple sports. He writes great columns and great analysis. And I got to tell you, he's one of Sports Memo TV's favorite video contributors. And he's one of my favorite people. Forget about the business, the world. And I know you guys like him because he's a leaderboard fixture. So Jeff's going to be telling you a little bit about what he's been doing, a little bit about what he's going to be doing on the premium side. He's got another few winner. And Jeff, if you don't mind, please tell everybody about that, about the college basketball, the whole thing that your dad and you and some of the great people at WagerTalk and Sports Memo contributed to, please.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. It's been a hot start for myself in college basketball as well. We're 2-0, been keeping it a little limited, obviously, as we see how things play out to start the season. But as Joe mentioned, guys, you go over to my dad's page. The quick handle is wt.buzz/rm. 100-page college basketball preview guide, completely free. As Joe mentioned, it's got everything that it had last year, returning starters, stats, but it also has some more than it did last year. We do have write-ups on almost every conference, if not every conference. was split up amongst some of us. There's work by Adam Trigger, actually, as was mentioned before, Tony Mejia, myself, as well as others. But it is completely free, 100 pages, every conference. So you can go check that out as we dive a little deeper into college basketball. But today, guys, free play. I'm talking college football on Saturday, and I'm looking at this UAB team taking the -6 points against North Texas. I know how North Texas played last week. They came out hot. But both these teams have explosive offenses. UAB's put up 475 yards or more in 4 out of their last 5 games. And they've been almost impossible to stop in the rushing game. They've rushed for 220 yards or more in 8 out of their 9 games this season. But they have lost 3 straight games. And that's a big thing that plays into this, because this basically turns into a must-win game this week, looking for bowl eligibility. They have to win 2 out of their last 3 games, and one of those is a game at LSU. So you have to think that they are looking to win the other 2, and North Texas locked up their bowl eligibility last week. The other thing that stood out to me, both of these defenses had outlier games last week, something that I don't think will continue. One, in the sense that UAB has had a pretty solid defense all season, and for just the second time this season, they allowed over 400 yards, and they allowed over 30 points for the first time this year last week. Whereas North Texas has had a pretty bad defense on the season, but last week they had by far their best defensive performance. They held an opponent under 300 yards for the first time, and they held them under 20 points for just the 3rd time on the year. So I do like UAB in what is basically a must-win situation between 2 explosive offenses and a North Texas defense that I think will take a step backwards, and a UAB defense that we'll see back to the norm this week on North Texas.
Great stuff from Jeff Michaels. You know him as JM Sports, guys. He's a leaderboard fixture over at Sports Memo, and he's one of the best I've ever worked with. After the show, go follow Jeff over at Sports Memo, the best customer appreciation discounts on the planet. You follow. Dip your toe in the Jeff Michaels pool. I promise you, after a short stay, you're going to dive in, I promise. Now, guys, just when you didn't think it could get any better than the first family show, like Kirk Gibson coming off the bench, bottom of the ninth, World Series, Nick Parsons joins us. Guys, I love Nick. Nick, good morning. How are you?
Good, Joe. Thanks for having me on again. Sorry for being a little bit late this morning, but yeah, the whole family thing, etc. But hey, I'm here and ready to give some winners.
Nick, let me tell you about being late. When you're great, everybody waits for you, and you are great, and you're worth the wait. Good morning. We're going to go right into Dan Kaiser, my friends. Nick is going to be giving you his breakdown in a few minutes. My good buddy Dan Kaiser, I always talk about how great he is in college football because he is known as one of the sharpest minds in sports betting in college football. But over the last maybe 40 or 45 days in the NFL, he has just absolutely crushed it. One of the best cappers on the planet, and numbers don't lie. And I've got to tell you, he has become not just a fan favorite, but a favorite of Dionne and I, because he's one of the most professional and one of the best contributors I've ever worked with. And you know what, guys, I want you to know, as great as he is as a handicapper, and he is a great handicapper and great analyst, he's one of the sweetest people in the world. You know, just off the record, guys, I'm going to let you behind the curtain. Dan checks on Dionne and me through the night on our little Slack channel, our communications channel, and he is one of the sweetest and most genuine people I have ever met. But he's also one of the best handicappers and analysts on the planet. Next, Dan's going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing, and I got to tell you, he's doing really well on the First Family Show with his free plays. Nick, I keep saying Nick. Dan, the floor is yours. I'm tongue-tied today because I got a great panel, guys. Dan Kaiser, the floor is yours. Please take it away.
All right, thanks, Joe. I'd like to clear up one misconception you said earlier. I doubt if I could walk the length of a football field, let alone run it. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, things are going real well right now in the NFL. I'll have a play up on the total tonight. I'm 12-6-1 so far this season in total, up about 19.6 units. So check that out. Yeah, my free play, to be honest, this is a free play I probably wouldn't have looked at in normal situation, but after last weekend's kind of turmoil in college football with Alabama going down for a second time and Notre Dame beating Clemson, I'm looking at this game a little bit different. It's the Colorado USC game. It is a high spread at -34. But you got to look at Colorado's coming in. They're 1-8. They're the worst Power 5 team probably in the country, if not one of the worst teams in the country. They put up only 15.6 points a game, and they're giving up just under 41 points a game. They're terrible on the road. They've only scored over 10 points once on the road this season. And they're facing a U.S. Trojans team that one thing you can say for them is their offense. They're putting up 41 points a game. The only thing that you could say is kind of common between the two teams is the defense, because USC needs to play better defense as they're giving up 25.2 points a game. USC's won the last 10 games against Colorado. The reason I looked at this game and the reason I'm taking USC in this game is the fact that with those 2 losses, they are now in a position, if they win out, and they've got that now what seems like a high-profile game against Notre Dame at the end of the season and a game with UCLA coming up, that they could make a move and make a push for the college football playoffs. And in order to do that, they really need to win this game and win this game big, and which I think they will do. They will have no problem scoring against Colorado, and I think this is one game that their defense can shine. And a little side note that Caleb Williams, he's got some primetime games coming up, and I think the Heisman Trophy is a little bit in flux right now. I know everybody likes C.J. Stroud, but he has had a couple poor games. I like to see Caleb Williams have some big games here and make the Heisman race a little bit more interesting.
Great stuff from one of the best in the business, Dan Kaiser. He said USC. Great breakdown and analysis. Dan, it's what we've come to expect from you. You set the bar high each week, and the following week, you just seem to keep surpassing it, so we thank you. My friends, Dan Kaiser doing great work at Sports Memo. After the show, these customer appreciation discounts, especially this one. I mean, Dan Kaiser, this is one that you got to really take advantage of.
30 days, $99.
30 days, $99. Pick it. Either way, you're going to make, I'll be honest with you, whether you bet $20, $20 parlays or 20 dimes a game, you can get both of these, the college or the pro and the pro football for $198, and it'll pay for itself in no time if you follow Dan Kaiser. He's one of the best. Speaking of one of the best, when we got the approval from the powers that be at Sports Memo and WagerTalk that we were going to be bringing on WagerTalk cappers here to the First Family Show, they said, well, who do you – they said, well, no. I said, you know what? First Family Show is Joe and Dion's, and we're going to go out and get the people that we really want. And no disrespect to the people that we didn't ask or we didn't communicate with, but the first person I reached out to was Jimmy Adams, and for a couple of reasons. Jimmy Adams his numbers are some of the best I've ever seen in the history of this business. And if you don't believe me, go to WagerTalk after the show. I'm going to tell you right now, the last couple of years, it's just off the charts. Doesn't matter what the surface is. It doesn't matter if it's the hardwood, the turf, the diamond. It doesn't matter. He's one of the best cappers I've ever seen. And, I knew about his reputation prior to us bringing WagerTalk guys on the First Family Show. And then I got to meet Jimmy Adams a couple times at the meet and greet. And I got to tell you, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and one of the most interesting people you'll ever meet. And once again, I want to do a shout out. I fawn over our guests because, guys, they're the best. This is like being the manager of the 27 Yankees Murderers Row. Okay, you got Bill Dickey, you got Lou Gehrig, you got Lazzari, you got Gurney, you got Babe Ruth, and one guy is they're all stars. And I got to tell you, Jimmy Adams is a true all-star. And if you don't believe me, you need to go and check out his numbers over at WagerTalk. And, since he started here in the First Family Show, I know our subscribers and viewers have gone up, but also each Thursday, Dee and I look forward to Jimmy contributing to the show. And I got to tell you what a trooper he is. He's doing some traveling now. I don't want to let out of the bag where he is, but it is definitely much later on the day where he is right now. And he's been a trooper.
It's almost the morning.
It's probably the morning, probably almost the wee hours over there. It is the wee hours over there, but Jimmy Adams won't miss the show, and he's going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing on the premium side at WagerTalk, and he's got another free winner for you. Jimmy Adams, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words, Joe. As always, you're first class. So first off the top, we have another 5% play going in the NFL this Sunday. We are on a 14-2 NFL run, and currently the number 1 ranked capper at WagerTalk in the NFL, so you'll definitely want to grab that. In tonight's action, we have NBA and college basketball. 66.7% NBA run, and we have hit both of our college basketball plays so far this season as well. So any way you want to get involved, head over to WagerTalk, take advantage of one of the great specials. For the free play, I'm going to go to college football Saturday, and I'm going to give out the Florida State Seminoles. So we have two teams headed in opposite directions here, obviously. Syracuse has just not responded well to that loss at Clemson. I thought they would, kind of keep their foot on the gas. They were still in line for a nice year at 6-1, and boy, have they done anything but. They've now dropped 3 straight. The Orange couldn't do anything offensively last week against Pitt. It was pathetic. They put up just 9 points. The offensive line is a major concern for me. I mean, their quarterback gets sacked 6 times. Sean Tucker didn't have anywhere to run. He finishes with 19 yards. And that just doesn't bode well when facing a Seminoles team that ranks 22nd in the nation in scoring defense. So, and how can I bet against a Florida State team right now that just went into Miami, came away with a 45-3 win? I mean, say what you want about Miami. They weren't as good as many thought they would be coming into the year, but this is still a rivalry game. And they outgained the Hurricanes 456-188. Look, the Seminoles, they're going to dominate the running game. Pitt just had 161 yards on the ground against Q's. I expect Jordan Travis to have yet another great game, and they're going to definitely dominate the defensive side of the ball. If you're worried about them going on the road, well, Florida State doesn't have much trouble going on the road. They're 6-0 against the number in their last 6 on the highway. So at a touchdown or less, give me the Seminoles all day this weekend.
Great stuff from Jimmy Adams, my friend. A true winner. He told you some of his numbers, and he's being very, very humble and modest, guys. I went over and I looked at his accolades prior to the show again, and there were so many of them. I just said, you know what? Can't write them down. I'm just going to send you over there. Jimmy Adams said, take the Seminoles this weekend. He is a winner, so follow him. But more importantly, WagerTalk, our brother website. This is one company, guys. You may think we're 2 different companies. We're not. We're one company. And I've got to tell you, we really do get along with one another. And our brothers at WagerTalk do some great work. And Jimmy Adams is one of the best at WagerTalk and has been for years. So go over to WagerTalk after the show. Go follow Jimmy Adams. Not only will you follow him to the bank, they'll probably make you bank president by the time you're done. Jimmy's going to stick around for a little bit. And guys, if you have any questions or comments for our panel, if I can get to them during the show, I will. I want to talk about our next contributor. And outside of Dan Kaiser, she's the only one that lets me feel her thigh during the show. Guys, I got Nick laughing. Guys, I want to tell you about the First Lady of Las Vegas. I came here in December of '89. I bought a house during a visit, moved here July of '90, and within a couple of years, I heard about a girl. There wasn't a lot of girls in the sports books, females in the sports books. I heard about a female who was kind of cute, first of all, and who was doing very, very well. And although we hung out in sports books, we hung out in the same haunts. Back then, nightclubs were not in the casinos. And we hung out in the same. We went to the same restaurants, knew a lot of the same people. We didn't run into each other, but I kept hearing about this girl, who I thought was Dionne, and she was killing the books. And then we had an opportunity to meet 22 years ago. 9 days later, she moved in. The rest is history. But Dionne's been beating books here in Southern Nevada for 32 years. I know she looks like she's 22, but she's been beating the books for 32 years, and her reputation precedes itself. And a couple of years ago, I said to Dionne, I said, D, why don't you do what I do? She says, what do you mean, drive everybody crazy? I said, no, sell games on websites and whatnot and contribute. She says, well, I don't know how to do that stuff. I said, well, you're one of the most successful sports bettors in Southern Nevada for 20 some odd years. I said, you help me produce all of our radio shows. You put out our newsletters. You help me with all my analysis. You help me with this. You help me with that. You know how to even post. Sometimes I'm, not well enough to post. She helps us do it. So she hit the ground running. She finished last college football season number 2. She was all over the MLB leaderboard for 2 straight seasons. NBA leaderboard, you're one of the top people in the NBA right now. I believe you won 4 straight in NHL.
I am 4-1 in my last 5 right
4
now.
4-1, you lost 5. My apologies,
I did
guys.
drop one yesterday.
And always and the last 2 years that she's documented on the leaderboards of both college and pro football. So the First Lady of Las Vegas is showing it. She's showing all us guys that this isn't just a guy industry anymore. And I love that about her, because I'm all for, women kicking down the doors of male-dominated industries. And she is a real winner. And if you need any more proof, just she married me and she's still. She probably got to kill me to get out of the house now because I ain't letting go of her. But she's doing some great work at Sports Memo, and numbers don't lie. So after the show, check out her numbers. She's got another free winner. You had a free winner yesterday?
I did. Had a nice free winner yesterday.
Last 4 months now, over 80% on all the Sports Memo TV shows. She's got another free winner for you today, but she's going to tell you what she's been doing and what she's going to be doing on the premium side. Dionne, the floor is yours.
Thank you for all of that amazing stuff that you just said about me, my love. But you know what, guys? Integrity is very important to me. And I did hit a bit of a speed bump yesterday with my premium releases, but I do bounce back today and get everybody paid while I try and redeem myself. Today I did, like Joey did mention, I did win 4 of my last 5 NHL releases. And today I have my NHL back of the net release. It is posted right now over at Sports Memo. So make sure you head on over to the site and pick that up. And between this evening and tomorrow afternoon, I will have all of my college and pro football big winners posted for you for the weekend cards. So make sure you head on over to the site and pick those up later tonight. And like Joey did say, I did have a nice winner yesterday for you as a free play. And tonight we do it again. And for my free play today, both the Philadelphia 76ers and Atlanta Hawks were touted to finish second in their divisions. Well, after 11 games, I think we could all safely say right now, the 76ers are falling way short of expectations, while the Hawks are exceeding them. I'm not saying Philly's season is over, but a few weeks into the season, sitting at 5-6, things aren't looking too good for them. Yes, I know Embiid missed a few games due to the flu and has now returned, but this team is not playing all that great. They rank 24th in scoring and 29th on the boards. This is a team averaging just 108.9 points per game, and isn't going to get too many second chance opportunities here. Their defense has been solid, that's for sure. However, they have to face one of the top scoring offenses in the NBA, which also saw the return of Star Young, who missed a game with a shin issue. Not only does Atlanta account for 116.7 points per game, they're also monsters on the boards and one of the best in the league from the line. And you can expect a very physical game here. Free throws will play a factor in this one. The Hawks took the most recent meeting back in December, 98-96 on the road. And tonight's matchup is being played at the State Farm Arena, where Atlanta has covered 8 of the last 11. They are one of the best home teams in the NBA, and they are also 12-3 against the spread the last 15 home games versus teams with a winning road record. That just tells you how very strong they are at the State Farm Arena. Overall, Philly has had problems on the road in this matchup, covering just 4 of the last 14 meetings in Atlanta. So I feel the 76ers are due for a letdown here because they come off of a big win against the Suns a few nights ago, while the Hawks are due for a bounce back after getting a rare home loss last night against the Jazz. And by the way, the 76ers are just 6-14-1 ATS the last 21 games played as a visitor. So I'm going to go ahead and take Atlanta in this matchup.
Great stuff for the First Lady of Las Vegas. You're hitting over 80%, 4 months free play, Sports Memo TV. She's in this show, the Family Affair show, college and pro football shows. She's killing it. She's also got a couple of big game winners going up tonight.
Those will be up later today.
Going up later today for the weekend. And you got to, what do you have again for?
Tonight I have my NHL back of the net play.
Back of the net. I love it. I don't do hockey, but I love that. By the way, my good friend Dan Kaiser sent me a little note in the chat. He says, maybe you could feel both of our thighs, but who has better thighs? I'm pleading the fifth there, Dan. That's all I'm
You
saying.
might have to go with Jeff on that one.
I might. All right. By the way, Jeff, it was a good angle. Jeff and I have discussed this because Jeff and I know that Nick, Dan, we've shared a lot of panels. Jimmy, we haven't had the opportunity to talk about this, but there's certain opportunities. And she brought up a really good betting opportunity angle where, one team comes off a game they should have lost and won, and one team comes off a game they should have won and lost. Jeff and I, we talk about bounce back and letdowns all the time on the show. It's a really good betting angle analysis. Your angles and analysis are really spot on for all those sharp streetwise bettors out there. I love that I brought you. Follow the First Lady. You're going to follow her to the bank. My good buddy, Nick Parsons. And I got to tell you,
Nick is in the house.
Nick is in his house. He's got his hat on backwards. Why is it always the guys with the best hair have the hats on? It's killing me.
It was a rushed morning today.
When it goes that way.
I love you, Nick. Guys, I said at the beginning, Nick talk about, we talk about Jimmy Adams being a trooper. It's very late where he is, and we appreciate Jimmy. We appreciate Dan and Jeff as well because they have other things and commitments that they do each morning, and they make sure they make the show because they don't want to let you guys down. They know how you depend on them. Speaking about not letting people down, Nick Parsons has a lot of commitments that he takes care of. And no matter what, he goes, Joe, I'm sorry, could I come in late? Why are you sorry? It's like friggin' Elvis saying, hey, do you mind if I finish the show? Nick Parsons is one of the best, and getting him to come in no matter what time during the show is like Kirk Gibson coming off the bench in the World Series. I mean, although Nick doesn't limp like Kirk Gibson did around the bases, I'll tell you that. Nick Parsons is one of my favorite people in this business, and personally, he's one of my favorite people on the planet as well. You know, I got to know Nick and Dan very well over the last few months when they both hit the ground running here at Sports Memo, and Nick is one of my favorite people to work with. He's not just professional. He does great breakdowns and analysis, and numbers don't lie. And he also has integrity. A couple of weeks ago, I said something about, he's coming off a great. He said, actually, I had a tough day this day, but that day. And I love the integrity and the class that Nick Parsons brings. And, you know, numbers don't lie, but class, integrity, and respect follows a person no matter what walk of life they're on. And they certainly have followed Nick Parsons over the years in this business as being one of the most respectful and classiest guys in this business. But the bottom line, guys, I'll be honest with you, he's the winner. He's going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing. He's got another free winner for you. Nick, I don't care how late you come on. You are amazing. Closing the damn show. I know I followed up and I always close that last, but you're closing the show like Kirk Gibson. We're excited. Tell everybody what you got for them, please.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe. I always look forward to this day every Thursday for sure. And yeah, I mean, you've talked about it before. I hit the ground running when I came on Sports Memo. And then, I mean, Sports Memo and WagerTalk, they're filled with literally the sharpest handicappers in the world. And so it's tough to be constantly on these leaderboards all the time. I mean, if you're going 55, 56%, 57, I mean, that's not even good enough. You got to be even better to be on these leaderboards. And so, yeah, I hit the ground running. Then I just wasn't quite as on some of these leaderboards as some of these other guys because everyone is so good. But listen, just recently have caught fire. I'm coming off back-to-back 3-0 sweeps. In the month of November, I've gone 4-0 with my 5% plays, 1-0 with my 10% play. I'm 4-1 in college basketball. I've won 7 straight weeks in college football, going 23-9 over that time. Guys, just seeing the board really well right now, also winning in the NBA. But for this particular pick, usually I'm a contrarian, but I'm going anti-contrarian with this one. I'm going sort of with the public money here. I think that this is a good spot for Miami to finally have a big blowout win at home. We're talking about the Miami Dolphins, of course. Now, Cleveland, it's coming off its big 32-13 home win over Cincinnati, but that was 2 weeks ago. Previous to that, the Browns had lost 4 in a row. And so that game was essentially a do or die game for the Browns. They had to win that game to sort of keep their season alive here until their quarterbacking is off suspension there. And I guess really that is the same case again this weekend for the Browns. I just don't think that they're going to be able to bring the same energy here on the road in this difficult road venue. I think that, rest is going to lead to rust here. And now Miami, it's back on track. It's 6-3 here after its 35-32 road win at the Bears. They weren't able to cover the 4-point spread, but yeah, they're back on track. They've now won 3 straight up. And after this, Miami has its bye week. So there's no reason not to lay everything on the line this weekend. And so that's what I'm expecting. The Browns, they're still injured. They still have more questions than answers, and they have a really tough upcoming schedule here. I mean, this is clearly a really tough game here in Miami. But then after this, they have a game next week at Buffalo. Then that's followed by a home game against the Buccaneers. This is a soul-crushing part of their schedule here. Now, Miami, it is just 1-6 against the spread in its last 7. But I think that's helped in this line here, and it's a little bit shorter than it should be. It's a bit undervalued here, I think, at home now. This Browns team struggles with consistency, especially on the road. It's also just 1-6 against the spread in its last 7 after an against the spread victory. So Joe and Dionne, for all those reasons, I like Miami to come out with a big win this weekend.
Nick Parsons, you also know him as the insider room, says take the Dolphins. The line is short. Guys, I want you to know he gave you some of his numbers. He says he's catching fire. He ain't just catching fire. I'm told he's wanted by the FBI for arson, for scorching bookmakers. Nick Parsons, a winner. Go follow him. Burn your bookmaker. It doesn't matter. Join him in the jail cell. You can have some fun counting all your money from burning them bookmakers. Nick's a winner. I love Nick. Don't you love Nick?
I love Nick.
I love Nick. He's so much fun. I love Nick. Nick, great stuff. Make sure you follow Nick after the show. And guys, any questions or comments after my free play? We're going to go down. We're going to run down everybody's free plays. Maybe if we can answer a question or comment from our great panel, but guys, lower the volumes. You know me, I'm loud. And yesterday I did drop a free play after winning both Monday and Tuesday free plays.
But you're killing it still.
Say with the I'm killing it. I'm killing it. Well, I'm killing it. I'm wonderful. I got to tell you, I'm wonderful. You know I'm wonderful. You live with me. Anyway, sports fans, let me tell you what's going on. I rank number 1 in the world in NBA in both winning percentage and profit. I've been at the top of the leaderboard since the season tipped off. 11-5 premium releases, which is good for 68.7%. $100 bettors are up $2,040 in the NBA. Tonight, I continue to get you paid in the pro basketball hardwood with my legendary NBA fast break play. They are on a 41-15 documented run. Get on my hot streak in the NBA. Get this proven documented winner. Get on the fast break. Get paid. I have it posted today for just $15. Not going to price gouge you guys. And as you know, hottest capper on the planet recent weeks, my NFL. Seems like I'm winning every single game I put out, plus my college football big games. El Fuego. For those of you that are not bilingual, that means on fire. I promise you between this evening and tomorrow afternoon, I will have several games a month posted for both college and pro football. At least one 5% play and a 10% play. You guys know how I do it with the 10% plays. 17-2, 10% releases in 2022. All my winning weekend football, say that 10 times quick, will be posted between tonight and tomorrow afternoon right here at Sports Memo. Now, for my free play today, we're going to the NFL, and this almost made it as a premium play, guys. I finally dropped the free play yesterday on the show, and boy, was it a dud. What did I have? Bowling Green Falcons?
Bowling Green, man.
Oh, my God. I put the game. I stopped looking at the game when I was down like 94-6. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad, but it was almost that bad. I come back today to redeem myself on the free play run with an NFL winner for you tonight. Thursday night action, I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers. Much like my friends, this is a quick turnaround from just 11 days ago when these two teams met. We're in Atlanta in a wild contest, which was decided in overtime as the Falcons bested the Panthers 37-34. Well documented. We all watched the game, the replays, the highlights. Well, folks, I think we're going to expect a close game this evening, as in 7 of Atlanta's 9 contests this season have been decided by 1, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 6 points. That matchup less than 2 weeks ago saw this game fly where? Over the total. And that was with, guys, I had to double check these stats. This game flew, it went over by almost twice. But let me tell you what happened during this game, and it still went over. All right, 3 interceptions, a fumble, 16 penalties, a field goal missed, and 5 made. All right, a whole slew of other things that affected the outcome of this game as well. And I think we can expect another high-scoring affair here. Both defenses rank among the worst in the NFL in points allowed. The Atlanta D, last in passing yards allowed. Let me try. Yards allowed.
Tongue twister there.
I'll tongue twist you later. Last in passing yards allowed, while the Carolina D ranks 28th in rushing yards allowed. P.J. Walker, he's scheduled to start, but Sam Darnold has been cleared to go health-wise, and Baker Mayfield, he still remains a backup. You got 3 ample quarterbacks going. With as bad as the Panthers are at stopping the rush, you can expect a heavy dose of Patterson and Algier, I love that guy's name, on the ground, pounding the ball into the Swiss cheese-like Carolina defense. No matter who's at the helm for the Panthers, during this matchup, you're going to see some success where in the air for this team as they face the worst pass defense in the NFL. If you're worried about the fact that the Panthers don't score too many points, just remember this. The Falcons have allowed over 450 yards and nearly 30 points per game over their last 3 outings. This game is going to fly over the total for sure, my friends. The over 4-1 in Atlanta's last 5 versus the NFC South, and 4-0 in Carolina's last 4 games played at home versus teams with a losing road record. Take the over here. Take your bookmakers' money. Let's get this good-looking panel back. Let me see if we got any questions or comments. Look at this. Everybody loves Jeff. Our good buddy Jesse Schule says, hey, my brothers and sisters. Jesse's always tuning in. Our good buddy Randy says TCU for him this week. How about this, babe?
Aww.
Jackie, thank you. I do love my wife with all my heart. She is my heart and soul. This family is my heart and soul. That was me, by the way. Any news on? All right, how about this? Jeff, let me see, anybody out there? Any updated news? Because I was a little busy this morning. The last I saw, it was still a question mark on Josh Allen. Has anybody heard anything prior to the show?
Rappaport put something out that said that it was a UCL. It's something that could be played through potentially, nothing that's going to require surgery, but that doesn't guarantee that he is going to play, but it shouldn't technically take him out.
I will tell you this, though. He should have that mustache surgically removed. That thing is just ugly. What about the weather? I don't know if JR, are you talking about tonight's game or the other game that we were just discussing? If you're talking about tonight, the weather, I just think this game goes over. You got to think one team is going to just pound the ball on the ground. The other team's going to go to the air. Weather's not concerning me just yet, but I still like this over. These two defenses are so bad if you are discussing this. Other than that, let me go around real quick before we run down the free plays. Let's get closing thoughts and comments. We'll run down the free plays. Dionne will take us out of here. We'll get you out of here in time so you can take advantage of all these free winners you got from one of the best panels in the history of sports betting. Dan Kaiser, closing thoughts or comments?
Yeah, good luck for everybody this weekend. It's it's another busy sports day. Now we got throw college basketball in the mix, and take Lincoln Riley and the USC Trojans.
You gotta love Dan. And Dan, just for the record, you do have great thighs. Thank you, Jeff Michaels. Closing thoughts and comments.
Yeah, guys, with college basketball kicking off and going crazy, don't hesitate to go over to Ralph Michaels' Cal Sports site and wt.buzz/rm and get that 100-page college basketball guide that we got put together over there. It's got every conference, every team. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody as this college basketball season really gets going.
100 pages. Wow. That's only half as big as the Deshaun Watson plaintiff list. So that's good stuff from Jeff Michaels. Is that Ralph? I mean, go over there. Jeff gave you the link to go. Go over there. That is some amazing. And Jeff, by the way, a lot of brands out there will be charging for that content. This is free, correct?
It is.
Yeah, absolutely, completely.
Guys, here at Sports Memo Wager Talk, we know that saving your money is like making your money. That's why we're the best in the business at customer appreciation discounts. Even something like that. A lot of brands out there will be charging for that. Not here at Sports Memo Wager Talk. Jimmy Adams, closing thoughts and comments.
Yeah, the highlight for me this week is going to be we're on that 14-2 NFL run, so we are running hot and have been for the entire season. We have another 5% play up. It's going down on Sunday, so make sure you get over and grab that. I gave out the free play on Saturday earlier, Florida State. And if you want another free play, just head over to my page at WagerTalk. It is in the LSU Arkansas game, so that'll be a real good matchup. Absolutely free. Go to WagerTalk.com. Let's have a fantastic weekend, everyone.
Gotta love Jimmy Adams. Thank you, Jimmy. Nick Parsons, any closing thoughts and comments for our viewers, please?
Yeah, lots of stuff going on right now in the sports betting world. So just remember to be smart, stick to your unit size, and stay the path, stay the course, be smart.
I love him. All right, we're going to run down the plays real quick. So let's go. Let's start off with Jeff. Jeff, what'd you have for everybody today?
I got UAB on Saturday minus the 6.
Dan Kaiser.
USC minus 34.
Jimmy Adams.
Florida State, let's go.
Dionne, the First Lady of Las Vegas.
Atlanta Hawks minus that 1.
Nick Parsons, Insider's Room.
Miami Dolphins minus 3.5.
And your sexy and savory host, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers over 42. And our good buddy was commenting. He says it was about that game. And he said, thank you. He's taking it tonight. Somebody said, what's up, Sports Memo, watching the show? And I do hit the like that. Justin, we love you. He always tunes in. You know we got the best panel in the world. Not only do we have a great panel, guys, this is a good-looking bunch, man. This is not a dating site. This is a sports betting show. So stop asking us for pictures of everybody on the panel in a Speedo. I know Dan will probably do it for you, but nobody else. We're all married, guys. I love you, Dan. You know that. Dan is one of my favorite people on the planet. I love you, Dan, with all of my heart. Dionne's going to take us out of here, and then we could go make lunch, and then I'm doing the afternoon show. I'm doing the college football forecast show, 1 o'clock p.m. PST, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't pull the trigger on any of your college football games this weekend until you watch that show. I'm hosting. Got some great people on the show this afternoon. Tons of free content. Lots of laughs, too. Dionne, take us out.
Yeah, and make sure that you follow all of our amazing guests from our show on Twitter, along with myself and Joey. And tune into all of Sports Memo TV show for a ton of free winners and some great betting insights as well. And on behalf of Sports Memo, Wager Talk, Jeff, Dan, Nick, and Jimmy, and us, this is the First Family of Vegas.
Everyone out there, good luck and have a winning day.